The first year at CBS was really rather difficult. I came into a place where the network was in last place. It had a reputation of being very cheap, that they wouldn't spend money for projects. The executive core was not terribly motivated. Not well, only was CBS in last place, but it didn't seem to bother too many people, that were here. So it was really important, A, to bring in some new people, and B, reinvigorate the place. And I think I was able to do that, although the first couple of years, the first 18 months for sure, were very lonely and very tough. At Warner Brothers, I was used to being top of the heap, having shows that were finishing in the top 10 consistently. And at CBS, there were very few highlights. So the first year was rather hard. Getting Cosby was a significant move, in showing people that we were for real and that we were great recruiters of talent. But at the same time, we needed to get a full development slate. And, it was very tough because, as I said, they put on 11 new shows and most of them weren't working and some of them were abysmal flops. So there were holes throughout the schedule. And it was sort of cut and paste the rest of the year with news magazines and, whatnot. And then eventually to start rebuilding the network. So, we began doing it. We went through our normal development process. And fortunately, at the end of the first year with this little known pilot, which frankly we almost half did because it was produced by David Letterman's company, with an unknown comedian named Ray Romano, who had been fired as the fifth lead in news radio. And Phil Rosenthal, who created the show, was basically known as a decent showrunner, but, had never created anything that was, I think his biggest credit was being the executive producer on the 8th year of Coach, when he did that. So we basically took this guy, they delivered a pilot, which we loved. We put it on Friday night at 8:30 after Dave's World, and the numbers were abysmal. The numbers were horrible, and, it sort of fit with most of what CBS was doing, but it still bothered me that it wasn't even growing from Dave's World. I figured, because the show was very, very good right from the beginning. And we figured the word of mouth would improve it, but it wasn't until we moved it to Monday night at 8:30 to give it a trial run after Cosby that people began to appreciate, what it was, what the show was, and realize how good it was. So that was a very significant piece in the rebuilding.